It's not loud enough.
What do you think? We still need more on the PA, yeah?
A little more.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yep. You're good. I love it. Yeah. I love yelling at people.
In which game did they score?
That was their 9th game of the year already.
And Augustine and they were both against the freshman.
When I was younger and I was trying to watch the Hawks, I would get sick every time. I was watching the games on TV. I mean, I still follow them and see how they're doing, but I'm not like religiously watching hockey games unless they're like some really big game. I'll watch the Stanley Cup playoffs are on. I'll probably turn them on, or it's, you know, some somewhat big game where there's not much else going on. I'll flip it on. That's kind of how I've become with basketball too. Like, I checked in on how the Bulls were doing, but I'm not really flipping through the changes sometimes like that with basketball games. College college basketball will be.
So it's definitely not like
Yep, those are great. I would watch the Bulls pretty regularly when I was in high school, but since I got here, obviously I can't really do that. They're not on national TV much. I'm not getting paid for the mess. Was. We're gonna, Matthew and I are gonna try and figure out a way to get the Bears games. Oh, just cutting in no, they're playing the Saints tomorrow. I don't know who the international game is. Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think the Jaguars are playing at 9:30 in the morning. What's the name of the team that played there? Crosse. Now that everyone's healthy, yeah. It's kind of crazy because they were healthy all season, which is total reverse of what happened last year. Everyone's healthy now.
I was talking to my brother, I was like,
Well, they're going to 3-peat and they're not going to play 2027. I still don't think we do. I really don't. Which is such a shame. The players and the owners, they hate each other. The ABS thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, hockey fans, welcome in here to the John Breslow Ice Center on the great campus of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. My name is Matthew Malloy, joined here with my partner Colton Alder. Colton, going to be a great morning here. We had a lot of hockey last night here at Breslow. The D2 men's team ended up going home with the win, and the women's team trying to stay undefeated here today this morning. Colton, how you doing right now?
I'm doing good. Last night, great night of hockey. Seeing the D2 team play as well as they did was fun to watch in their home opener. And now, today's matchup is a battle between two teams that are 2-0, two teams that look really solid their first set of the year. And I'm excited to see how this game goes down.
Yeah, it's interesting. Both teams are undefeated, but I think something sticks out a little more about one of those teams. The UW Lacrosse Eagles. Colton, I'll hand it back off to you because this is a stat that I couldn't even wrap my head around. They won their first two games by quite a wide margin, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I had to double check when I was researching for this game that my eyes were not deceiving me. They won their first two games of the season by a combined score of 43-11. Won their first game 23-8, second game 20-3. Just an absurd way to start the season. Your mind has to kind of wonder, how do you even score 20 goals in a hockey game even once, let alone back-to-back games?
Yeah.
But an extremely impressive start.
I mean, extremely impressive. I feel like that's not even giving them enough credit. You know, getting 20-plus goals in both games. Nebraska came out guns blazing too in their first two games, roughly almost a month ago. It's been a while since they've hit the ice competitively. They won their first two games by a wide margin as well. Not as big as 20-plus though.
Yeah.
So still looking to pick up a win here today on this great Saturday morning. We've got all the action coming up very soon, just a few minutes.
I would just say if you see it, just it's this right here. Let's pull it. You want to do some tight follows during
You see some NBA on TNT like the camera look right here.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the What's in the Room anthem and just it's still a little fast.
Well, we've had our introductions and we've had our fun, but now it's time to get to work. 2 undefeated teams here at the John Breslow Ice Center. But let's take a little bit of a deeper look as to who's going to be starting up here in today's undefeated Saturday morning matchup. We'll look at the starters for the away team first, of course, the University of Wisconsin Lacrosse Eagles. At right wing, we've got number 4, Jana Swanson. Next up at center, you got number 16, Abby Lenzik. And then at that left wing position, number 17, Abby Tuma. The defenseman, number 18, Slane Bukowski. In net, we got Delilah Boberg. We also have another defender, number 18, number 14, Julia Dena-Anya. Those are going to be at defense. We'll head over to the home team here, the 2-0 Huskers, just like those 2-0 Eagles. The captain, number 3, Meredith Fontana. Number 8, Corrine McCord. Number 12, Tonya Stevens, playing there at defense. Number 18, Camille McCord. Number 25, Meredith Radel. And in net, as always, number 50, Sully Daphnis. Colton, we've got a pretty big matchup right here. Both teams want to stay undefeated. And I think in order to do that, you got to look at who's between the posts right now. Sully Daphnis from Arlington Heights, Illinois. She's going to be the goaltender for the Huskers. And then you've got Boberg in net for the Crosse. Both tenders have done a pretty good job in net here. They haven't let in too many goals so far this season, which is why each team is 2-0, undefeated there. Starting off, the Huskers getting aggressive. Puck immediately goes in their defensive zone, though. Pena for the Eagles coming in, but then Radel will come in on the left side. She might rip off a shot. She does. It goes glove side. That one will actually sneak past Boberg, and Meredith Radel shoots and scores for the Huskers. 30 seconds into this one, and we've already got one on the board, Colton.
Yeah, 30 seconds into this game, Meredith Radel just gets a clean shot off, and she gets it in there. 4th goal of the year. She scored in each of their first 3 games. And they get off to a good start against this Wisconsin lacrosse team that has started off the year so well. Good to draw first blood in this matchup.
Radel, she stayed right on it. It was pretty much a one-on-one. There was nobody in between her and Boberg there on the offensive side. The Huskers will get right back to it. Number 8, Corrine McCord, has the puck in the offensive zone. He's going to wrap around the net, but there's a squad of Eagles right there to swarm in on her. The Huskers able to maintain possession, though. Everybody fighting for the puck at the blue line. Eventually, Pena will come in and take it. The captain for the Eagles, trying to get it down ice. Not able to, though. That one intercepted by the Huskers. Pena comes back around, fighting for it on the boards. Puck comes loose. There's Elle Peterson there getting in on the action for the Eagles. She'll wrap it around the net behind the boards. The Eagles will go pucks deep. They'll get a couple substitutions in as well, trying to set something up here. The Huskers have the puck, though. That one pokes past. That's going to signal that would be icing. They've got enough power on it there. 1-0 early on, Colton. What's something that has stuck out to you so far? I mean, it's pretty obvious that the Huskers there, they have 1 shot on goal and 1 goal as well, so they're shooting 100% right now.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be keeping possession of the puck. That's going to be a huge thing. This Wisconsin lacrosse offense is extremely dangerous when they have the puck in the offensive zone. So just keeping control of it as much as you can, keeping it away from them, is going to be the biggest thing for the Huskers in this matchup.
Puck comes loose there after the face-off. Daphnis hasn't had too much trouble to face up against yet, but the Eagles might be able to set something up here. Riley Hill, number 27, will rip one past Wade, who has that blue line not even in the zone. Daphnis will cover right up on top of it. Another stoppage in play. We've already had a handful, one of them being a goal by Meredith Radel. The Huskers trying to score again, though. Fontana getting in on the backboard, right behind the net. We've seen the puck go there a lot so far. That puck slips past Vanessa Clavely. She eventually gets back on top of it, but so do the Huskers. There we go, another shot opportunity. A 3-on-2 situation. Looks to be Kylie Reginitter. Just slips it past. The puck goes wide right. That one's slipping past the middle of the ice. A lot of open space here, Colton. You got to be sure to stay on top of it, especially if you're that Eagle defense.
Yeah, they did a good job getting the stop there, and now they've got a chance on the breakaway.
See what happens here. Eagles close it in. That was Abby Lenzik with a chance. Not going to go, though. Riley Hill going to pass it back up. This is Pena. Puck comes loose, though. Nobody's got it. The Huskers do, though. Losing control. Eventually, it will make its way back to Fontana. At her own net, she'll slip it around the boards. A nice pass. Trying to get it to McCord. Another breakaway for the Huskers. Coming up. On the right side, slipping in. A shot comes off. A pad save by Boberg. The biggest one we've seen out of her today. But now the puck's back on the boards. Everybody's fighting for it. Radel tries to slip one past. Puck goes flying in the air. See this one had a bit of a stalemate on the board. Big clash. We've got somebody banged up. Looks to be a Husker. I believe that's Lexi Rager, hometown player from Lincoln, Nebraska, a defenseman too as well.
She took a pretty big hit along the boards there. That was handed out by Abby Tuma, who will head to the box after that hit.
First penalty we have seen so far this morning. Yes, that is Rager, who looks to be banged up on that one. Excuse me.
That appears to be Sparrow Shipperbottom.
That is a big loss. Shipperbottom, like Rager, is a defenseman. One of the best ones Nebraska has. Took her a while to get up off of that one. Huskers will have to find a way to get around that personnel change. But right now, they've got a 2-minute upper hand situation right now. Fontana off of the face-off. Here comes Mueller. Mueller tries to cut inside. That one's swatted away by the Eagles. Fontana gonna go wrap around the net. This one's staying on the boards though. Maureen McCord. She's got it right behind Boberg. Slips it in front. A shot opportunity doesn't go. And then Fontana tries to put another one in as well, but we've got a breakaway. Coming up here for the Eagles. A shot, but not a score. How about another, though? That one slips past Daphnis, but it doesn't go in the net. Wide right of the goal there. Fontana breaks it up, and then she's got McCord back in there to help her. The Eagles making a lot of noise on what is supposed to be a power play upper hand for Nebraska right now.
That was some incredible goaltending by Daphnis, making the stop on the breakaway and then being able to recover on the rebound and make sure they don't get a second chance opportunity.
55 seconds left on this power play, but the Eagles have kept the puck here in this zone. In fact, they rip off another shot. That one was powerful. Looks to have been from Jonna Swanson. Not able to slip it past Daphnis, though. She's been able to keep her composure. Colton, you got to think, I mean, this is a time where Daphnis should be able to take a little breather, you know, let the pads breathe a little bit. Instead, she's had to go up against 4 or 5 shots in this 2-minute span.
That's a credit to how aggressive this UW Crosse team has been. I mean, just putting a lot of pressure on the Huskers, even when they're short-staffed out there. Now Nebraska might have a chance before the end of this power play.
Radel will take it coast to coast. She'll hand it off to one of her teammates. The Eagles pick up on it right away. An incredible penalty kill there. They get rid of the power play, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Radel will stay out there. Big fall there. I believe a Husker will head to the box for that one. Yep, that looks to be number 54, Addie Rusing, the freshman forward from St. Louis, Missouri. Colton, what a turn of events there. That was supposed to be 2 minutes in which the Huskers might have been able to rip off a couple more shots. Instead, the Eagles got a handful of their own in on Daphnis, and now they definitely will, as the Huskers will fall to 4 skaters. The Eagles will stay at 5.
And it's sequences like that that make you understand why this team scored 43 goals over their first 2 games. They're very aggressive. They just fly up and down the ice. And now with a power play, they're going to have a lot of opportunities to get on the board.
The Eagles setting up here in power play position. They rip off their first shot of the 2-minute timeout. That one slips back around the net. Trying to find a pocket here. They can get a nice shot off. Nebraska playing some wide defense, getting out there on the corners. One Husker falls, gets back on her feet. Now we've got Swanson, I believe. They're going to wrap it around the net. No, they'll keep it on this side. Trying to cut back in to the open ice. Nebraska holding strong on defense. That's a beautiful stop right there. Puck goes flying. Nowhere near Daphnis. Puck all the way back at the blue line. This will be Abby Tuma. Gonna pass it back over to Lenzik. Lenzik rips it off, but now the puck's going the other way. They're gonna go dump and chase there. Puck's deep for Nebraska. They'll make one substitution. Still fighting for the puck. This is Corrine McCord, She gets it in off the pad of Boberg there. Puck now on the boards. Radel takes a big hit. Here's Swanson coming back the other way. A one-on-one situation. Rips one off and scores. We're at a tie hockey game here, 1-1 with 13 minutes left to go in the first period. The Eagles take advantage of that 2-minute upper hand power play and tie things up here with the Huskers, Colton.
Yeah, the Huskers did a really good job early on in the power play stopping them, but after they got the puck down the ice, the Eagles just getting a breakaway, and Jonna Swanson, who had 7 goals over their first 2 games, just gets an open space. Open shot at the net, she takes full advantage of it. This is a tie game.
You saw Radel there on the board. She took a big hit, and then she was not able to get back up and fall back into a defensive position to stop Swanson, which is what allowed her to get into that breakaway situation. A nice one-on-one. She went glove side on Daphnis, was able to go top shelf with it as well. So like you said, Colton, we're back at a tie game. It's been a few minutes since we were at 0-0. Each team picking up a goal. Now Nebraska trying to take back the lead they just lost. They have the puck in the offensive zone. This line, they're going aggressive heavy now. A foot fight on the backboard behind the net. Trying to hold on to their sticks there as the puck eventually comes loose. See Rusing there fighting for it. She was the one that was in the penalty box when the Eagles scored. Now Crosse trying to do it again. Looks to be a 1-on-4 situation. Puck back in the middle of the ice. The Huskers have it though. They're going to try to catch the Eagles off guard. Back to the middle, right in front of the net. Rusing tries to go backhand, and Boberg is just going to fall on top of it. A little extracurricular activity as well after that one. Tensions are rising, and so is the score.
Yeah, good hockey game. Physical early, both teams getting a fair amount of opportunities. Rusing at a pair of shots towards the net there. First one got saved. Rebound. Boberg recovers to get the save there and getting a little bit chippy after the play. Really intense early on. Love to see a game where both of these teams are just going at it.
Fontana back now for the Huskers, fighting for it. She'll give it back to Radel. Radel near her own blue line. She'll go pucks deep. Fontana will come off the ice. Nebraska making a substitution. Puck here still very much in the offensive zone. It's on that backboard behind the net. We'll see Swanson again. Pass it back up. A bit of a breakaway. Upper hand situation, no. Lenzik trying to make something happen, rips off a shot. Daphnis is there to stop it though. The puck is now behind the net. The Huskers have it, trying to get it out of there, doing everything they can. That's Radel and Stevens working together. Radel will actually just go back around the other way. Puck comes loose. McCord on top of it. Puck out of the defensive zone, but then it comes right back in. The Eagles will make 3 substitutions, trying to get some fresh faces in here to rip off a shot or 2. That's a great stop. Nebraska still trying to get it out of their own zone. Pena fighting for it. And then McCord comes away with it for the Huskers. McCord on the way outside, takes a big hit, stays on her feet though, still fighting for it. Puck comes loose on the other side of the board. We're now on the near side. Swanson, the one who just scored on the power play, will rip off a shot. Daphnis deflects it away off of her stick. Puck is right in front of her net, but the Huskers are there to hold on to it. This will be Meredith Fontana on the left side, going wide. She'll cut back in. That pass going to be deflected, though, by the defender right in front of her. The Huskers staying on top of it. That one ripped right at Boberg, but a defender is there to stop it before it gets to her. This one now, they might have a chance. Sarah Crosse rips one off at Boberg, off of the pad, back to the boards. Crouse staying on top of things here. Foot fight on the board. We've seen this plenty in this zone. Lexi Rager is there to put her stick to the puck, try to keep it in this zone as much as possible. Rager back again, wraps it around. Everybody's fighting for it, mainly on these boards, Colton. Puck has not seen the middle of the ice in quite some time. I say that, but then it comes right in front of Boberg. Not able to rip off a shot. One Eagle loses her stick. The Huskers try to rip off a shot. They do, but it's wide right and way too high. We've got a wild stick on the ice here on the other side. How about Swanson, though, rips one off. Excuse me, it looks to be number 6, Tina Benson instead, who will get the goal. Incredible job, and that's 2 goals for the Eagles, both on fantastic breakaways.
Yeah, just getting a breakaway there after the Huskers had a fair amount of opportunities on their end. Abby Lenzik just getting down the ice, getting a clean shot on net. This team is taking advantage of their opportunities when they get those breakaways. And that's why they've built this 2-1 lead early.
Exactly, Colton. They're taking advantage of some great opportunities right now. That first goal scored by Swanson was off of the power play. The second one, though, that was at 5-on-5 hockey. So they've proven that they can do 2 things. They can play up to that expectation that they need to score when they have the upper hand, but then they can also do it when things are all evened up at 5-on-5. The Huskers will rip off a shot right there. Hits Boberg's chest and then bounces right off. Nebraska is still trying to do something here. The Eagles doing a great job to get it out of their zone. This one will go to the far board, and it comes right back, though. Rusing doing a nice job there. The only Husker to see the penalty box so far this morning. That one, an Eagle falls down hard. Here we go, though, yet another breakaway. This one might be broken up, though. It's a 1-on-almost-4 situation. That was number 9, Elle Peterson, for UW Lacrosse, trying to get something set up. She's not able to, though. She'll actually come back to the bench. We'll get a substitution here. And 4 new Huskers come onto the ice just in time to stop Swanson right in her tracks. Here we go. The captain, though, for the Eagles coming in hot. It is Signe Bogalski, number 18, the defender, trying to do something on offense this time. Doesn't work out for her. Nebraska back here. They'll up the puck, wrap it around the net, and chase for it. Riley Hill gets it across the ice, trying to get it to Swanson. You can tell that's exactly their game plan here. Swanson rips off a shot, almost trying to go 5-hole, doesn't work, and then she's got a teammate back on the other side who rips off a shot as well. Both of those are denied by Daphnis. A 1-on-3 situation there. That one going to fizzle out for Nebraska. The Eagles have it going the other way. Abby Tuma going way wide left. It'll wrap around the net. Radle's there to stop it for Nebraska. Trying to do everything they can to not let the Eagles get off a shot, especially on Daphnis' glove side. They're trying to push everybody over to that left side where she's got her stick. She can do a better job of seeing things. They try to wrap it in. It almost looks like they were able to, but no. Daphnis is able to get her stick and pad there just in time. That was a close call, Colton. Could have been a 2-goal lead for the Eagles. Instead, will stay at 1.
Yeah, that's an incredible save right there. Just trying to wrap it around the net. Nearly getting it in, but Daphnis with a really heads-up play at net. Able to protect her goal, and just a really impressive play right there from the Huskers goaltender.
Face-off, not too aggressive. Winds up with Nebraska having it. They get it past the blue line, and they're ready to go. This is Rusing back on the board. Far one, that is. The Eagles now fighting for it. The Huskers still trying to do something. Nothing there with the backhand. In fact, they are not able to get a shot off. Rusing does. It's Boberg's pad. That one will fall back to the boards. That one right in front of the net. The Eagles make sure to get rid of that. 2 players fall back there behind the net. The Eagles still trying to stay up on this puck. And a shot off, but Nebraska's back in the defensive zone to stay on top of things. Here's Rusing again in the middle of the ice. A lot of open ice in front of her. Trying to get it to McCord. She does. McCord fighting through a swarm of Eagles. That one, her stick tipped away. The puck is as well. The Huskers still not giving up on this possession. Antonia Stevens. She'll actually skate off the ice here back to the bench. And Meredith Rado will come back on. They stayed in this same area for quite some time back on the far board. Rado will come in and try to switch that. Goes backhand near the net by Boberg, stick side. That one was close, almost hit the post, but it'll wrap around back behind the net. Rado gets another shot off, that one wide right, not gonna go. W across, the Eagles back in attack, getting in formation here.
Delayed penalty on the Huskers. Gonna get a tripping.
I actually gonna say this one is on number 15 for the Huskers, Shelby Stevens, the senior forward. So they'll lose some power on offense, but that's okay because they're gonna have to put everything towards defense right now. Down again, a 2-minute advantage for the Eagles coming up real soon. Nebraska trying to stay on top of it. Colton, what have you seen so far as penalties here? I know we look at past games. Neither team has been too aggressive as far as, tripping or anything unsportsmanlike like that. However, I think every now and then they have had to send one of their players to that box.
Yeah, I mean, not anything too egregious early on, but refs calling penalties in the areas where they should. That was a pretty clear tripping call right there. And now on the penalty kill, the Huskers have been good on their own defensive end all game. It's been 2 breakaways that have gotten this Eagles team the lead. And the Huskers are going to have to limit those if they want to hold them here.
They're going to waive that penalty. Say that the Huskers will not have to send a player to the box. So rather than having a face-off in Nebraska's defensive zone, we will come back to center ice and reset things here, which is what both teams need right now. It's been a while since we've had a handful of stoppages in play. We're at about that 4:50 mark, folks. Not a whole lot of time left in this first period. Crosse fighting for it on the boards. Eventually it comes away. Here's McCord on defense. Nice little shoulder check right there. The Eagles trying to advance the puck, and they are able to somewhat keep it in front of the blue line. Daphnis will just have to really do nothing here as the puck goes wide right of her. The Huskers come away with the puck, but then there's always seems to be an Eagle right there. How about it? That shot not going to go, though. Number 7, Marley Jordan, trying to do something. Definitely shaking things up. She actually loses her stick there on that possession. Huskers trying to get it going the other way. They do. They'll dump the puck. Boberg is right there to stop it. Not going to fall on top of it, though. She'll keep this one in play. Nebraska making some substitutions on the other side of the ice as the Eagles now come away on a breakaway. It's a 2-on-2 situation. This one coming back. Not able to rip a shot off. However, number 9, Elle Peterson, was there. This is Crosse again for Nebraska. The Huskers have it. McCord coming up right now. She'll try to cut inside on the left side. She does. It stays in there, but the Eagles swat it away just in time. Here's Swanson. We've seen a lot out of her tonight. Mismatched situation, though. She'll have to try to pass it back over to the other side of the ice, and she does. The Huskers doing a good job. A lot of poke checks here, keeping it out of their zone. However, Crosse still has the puck. Here's Swanson now. Galski as well. Ref throwing his hand up. They will not get a whistle, though. They'll keep this one in play. Huskers trying to take advantage of this opportunity. We might see a stop soon, though. That one going right at Boberg, and she will fall on top of it. Hold that one with her glove. 2:42 left in the first period, but still a whole lot of hockey left to be played. If you're just joining us, folks, UW La Crosse has a 2-1 lead over the Huskers. Colton, what do you think we're going to see in the final 3 minutes here that might change what's going to lead into the second period?
I think both of these teams are going to try to be really aggressive down the stretch of this first period. Play near the net there, but both of these teams are going to try and be aggressive. Nebraska, you want to enter the second period at least tied, and for this Eagles team, getting a 3-1 lead heading into the second would be huge for them.
Right, Nebraska not going to do anything crazy though to try and tie it. However, they might have a chance here to do so. On the right side, they're not able to get a shot off. The puck was right in front of a wide open net. Fontana was just a little bit too past it. That pass came from Mueller back on the right side. Speaking of Mueller, she'll actually get back on top of the puck again. This one's staying here in this zone. Eagles, back line doing a nice job. They'll dump the puck, make a whole bunch of switches off their own bench, and then they're back in action. Eagles flying at these Huskers, doing the best job they can to hold a lead. They know they want to hold that going into the second period here. How about that? They swat away the puck yet again. Number 23, Lexi Rager for Nebraska, though, trying to get something to go. She's back at the blue line now. Radel rips one off, trying to wrap it around. This one will be picked up by McCord. Puck falls back to the ice. Boberg doing a nice job here, getting rid of anything that comes in front of him. 1:10 left to go. Nebraska in a great spot here to rip off a shot. They do that one. Not a whole lot of power behind it, which means Boberg will just have to sit in front of it, almost like a catcher in softball, just kind of wraps that one up. Another stop and play. 1 minute, 5 seconds left to go. Face off. That one taken by McCord. The Eagles win it though. Julia Della Pena coming around the other side. Here it comes. 50 seconds left. Nebraska really trying to get aggressive here. But the Eagles might actually rip off a shot here. They do that one way too high. Hits the glass and falls back down. But then they have another opportunity. Doesn't go there. Daphnis, that one doesn't touch her. One Husker goes flying on the ice, which means the Eagles might have something set up here. They do. Daphnis will just catch that one, though. A fastball right at her chest. She stops this with 25 seconds left in play. We'll have a face-off back in this zone, though, so her work is not quite done yet.
Now at this point in the period for Nebraska, your focus almost just solely shifts to keeping this a 2-1 game. Probably not much offense you're going to generate in 26 seconds, so just look to hold the Eagles off the scoreboard here.
Eagles trying to come back inside. They do. It's Riley Hill who got the shot off in time. Now everybody's fighting for it right near Daphnis' right pad. Not exactly sure where the puck is. They're going to blow the whistle, though. Ref just kind of hanging out on top of the net there. Looks like he had a pretty good view at it. 5 seconds left to go, so this will be the last play and last face-off. Things go according to plan. The Eagles have one more shot here. The Huskers are able to get rid of that one. And that'll be the end of the first period, folks. UW La Crosse on the road. The Eagles with a 1-goal lead heading into the second period. We'll take a 15-minute intermission here, but when we come back, the Huskers trying to fight and take back the lead they once had.
doesn't know how the hell fixing works. I love my job. guys come back, just remind the audience that they'll be playing again tomorrow at 9:30, and that the men's team is playing at 3:30 against Augustana.
The men's team doesn't have a
No, they do not. Just the one game tomorrow. And we just have men's next weekend, but the Saturday game, I believe, is at Icebox. It's that giant shed that's right next to where they're building the new train station. That's Icebox. It looks like a warehouse. What? Well, they're doing it now. They get ranked. Did they get ranked?
I mean, they're not.
I don't think they should be, but.
Oh, no, they should.
You think they should?
Because they beat the best of each team. They beat the best football program in the country.
Clearly.
I think Miami should move up. Miami should move up. Miami shouldn't, but I agree. I think they're still going to win the ACC.
Alright, whenever you guys are ready.
Alright.
They play at 9:30. They do. I don't know how early it is. Maybe I'll wake up. What? I'm here tomorrow. I don't know. Meredith said she doesn't know when they're going to open the place, so I don't know. It's going to depend on when they're open the place. Alright, whenever you guys are ready to get back up.
Ladies and gentlemen, Husker hockey fans, welcome back to the John Breslow Ice Center here on the great campus of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. My name is Matthew Malloy, been your play-by-play broadcaster for this morning game. Joined here with my partner, Colton Alder. Colton, what have you seen in the first period that you think will carry over to the second here? We had a lot happen. 3 total goals scored, a couple off of a power play, most of them off of breakaways, things like that. It's been a pretty fast-paced game.
Yeah, both of these teams have done a really good job playing good defensive hockey when they're in their defensive ends. It's just been those breakaways that have been the thing that has gotten goals on the scoreboard so far. Nebraska's lone goal in both of the University of Wisconsin with Crosse's goals have come via the breakaway. So both teams will look to limit that in the second period because that has been where offense has materialized for both squads so far. But both teams getting a fair amount of shots on the board. Neither team has had a disproportionate amount of power plays. It's been a pretty even game so far. It's just that those breakaways have taken place and more of them have gone the Eagles' way than the Huskers thus far.
Absolutely. We'll see here the Huskers win the opening face-off for the second period, but the Eagles are right back to swarm the attack. Here's McCord there getting in for the Huskers, but then the Eagles are right there. They might rip off a shot. They do. How about it? That one was quick. Number 16, the center, Abby Lenzik, going to make this a 2-goal game at John Breslow. That one real quick. Only 24 seconds into the period. And we saw something very similar at the start of the first, Colton.
Yeah, first period, Meredith Radel scores the opening goal of the first period within the first 30 seconds. Abby Lenzik gets the first goal of the second period even sooner. It's her second of the game. just gets an open shot on the offensive end and able to get it past Daphnis. And now a 3-1 lead for this Eagles team early in the second.
Colton, I don't know about you, but whenever a team scores within the first 30 seconds, 45, maybe even the first minute of the period or the game, even, I kind of see it as it's like scoring off of the opening kick in football. You catch the other team off guard. The momentum hasn't really set in yet. Nobody is really in their groove. So to be able to take advantage of that, you get a 2-goal lead. Yeah, I know the Eagles are going to be very grateful that Lensick was able to slip one past Daphnis there. So Daphnis has let in 3 so far. Boberg, though, only letting 1 in. Now Daphnis might have to get work again right here as the puck comes back into the Nebraska defensive zone. The Eagles swarm that one, though. Trying to cut it back across to the middle of the ice. They do, but the Huskers are right there to pick it up. Here's McCord. She'll try to pass it. No, holding on to herself. Tries to get somewhat of a shot off. It doesn't go, though. Now the Eagles have it. Although it's kind of some back and forth. The Eagles are going to dump that one. Ricochets off the board and then goes right. Rusing is in there trying to fight. The puck slips right past her, though. There's number 24, Vanessa Clavely for the Eagles. She passes it down ice. Eventually finds the stick of number 9, Elle Peterson. Peterson moving in quickly. Trying to go backhand to middle ice. Doesn't get there. The Huskers are right on top of it. Now they're going to use the boards to their advantage. A great pass there. Rusing has it going the other way. See what she does here. She'll cut back across. Gonna say down towards the net, but no, she stays in there right on the blue line. And eventually the puck finds its way near the crease. That was McKenna Mueller getting a shot in there. Not going to slip past Boberg as she falls right on top of it.
Yeah, Mueller gets a shot close to the net there. Not able to get it in there, but some good response from the Huskers after the early goal. We saw this with the Eagles in the first period, giving up a goal within the first 30 seconds. Afterwards, they kind of seemed more focused the rest of that period. I think maybe getting a goal early on, scored against you in a period, that kind of forces you to lock in a little bit. Kind of unlock something else within a team. They have to respond to that.
We'll come back now. A shot opportunity for the Eagles. They rip one off. That was number 16, Abby Lensick, the one that just scored the goal, in the opening minute of this period. The Eagles trying to hold pressure to these Huskers. They're able to do so. Puck slips back around. It'll wrap its way around the net. Plenty of Nebraska players in sight to stop that one, though. Not able to clear it, though. The puck stays on this side of the blue line. However, we have a penalty coming right up. Bit of a scruffle after that one right near the blue line. The Eagles trying to keep it here in the zone, but Nebraska able to draw a penalty there. That'll be a very smart one. We'll see what they do with it here, Colton.
Yeah, Nebraska wasn't able to convert on their first power play of the game, but this time they're getting another opportunity at it. Hoping to take advantage this go around. They've put up a fair amount of shots on goal thus far, but they'll look to convert some of them here.
And Colton, I'd go as far to say as that first power play they had, the Eagles, it was more of a power play for them. They ripped off about 4 or 5 shots in that 2-minute period. But then Nebraska was really only able to get, I'd say, 1 strong one in. So you really got to take advantage of it. And you're seeing it right here happen again. It's unfolding yet again, where the Eagles are keeping the puck in the offensive zone rather than playing back on D, even though they're only 1 player down.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of teams be this aggressive on the penalty kill. And now it's going to be even strength because that's going to be a trip right there. And now it's not even a power play for the Huskers. That sends Tony Stevens to the penalty box, and now it's going to be a 4-on-4 for the next minute 26.
We're back to, even hockey. However, this one's going to be a lot more open ice and fast-paced. Because like you said, Colton, it's 4-on-4. It'll only be 4-on-4 for, a minute and 30, though, and then we'll have 30 seconds here where the Eagles will actually have an upper hand. Right now, though, even keel hockey. Crosse wins the face-off. They'll keep it here in this zone. Peterson there gets a hold of it. But then the Huskers are right back on the offensive. McCord gets stripped, though. A nice little stick check poked out of her way. The Eagles have it back again. Rip off a shot, not going to go immediately. Ricocheted off of a defender. That's Fontana going to work on the board. The Eagles now are going to wrap around the net, trying to slip one past Daphnis. They can't. That one right in front of Daphnis' net. In fact, that might have touched her crease. Instead, we'll get an icing call back down the other way.
Some strong defense in that sequence from the Huskers. Daphnis able to adjust quickly on the wraparound. That prevents another goal from the Eagles. For the Huskers, I think you have to try and be more aggressive.
Colton, Nebraska trying to get it out of their zone. They do, as always. Got some lacrosse Eagles swarming in on it right away. This puck will go deep, wrapping around. I'm going to say that's not icing. We'll keep it here on this side. That one slips past an Eagle defender. Now the Huskers back on defense. Right in front of the net, though. Could have been a shot. It wasn't, by Marley Jordan for the Eagles. Daphnis had a bit of a scare there. How about this, though? Swanson back on the right side of the net. Getting to work trying to use those nice, smooth stick skills to progress the puck towards Daphnis. They're not able to. In fact, a couple players keep falling behind the net there, trying to stay on their feet and get a shot off. That puck wrapped around. A nice shot, a little too low, though. It hits the skates of a Husker defender. Here's Radel. Meredith Radel moving in now. Immediately, a poke check, it goes away. Nebraska will let the Eagles have their go at this one. That one given down. Sam Murphy there, who tried to get the pass off. She couldn't. How about this, though? A rip off a shot that was roosing with the chance. Not able to capitalize on that opportunity.
That was a golden opportunity right there, but just a really good save there from Boberg. Nearly saw a similar opportunity for the Eagles as right off the bench, Marley Jordan opened down the ice, but the puck didn't get to her fast enough. Nebraska's defense was able to catch up and stop her. And in that case, Boberg just makes a great save on that shot by Rusin.
Fontana did a nice job right there, keeping the puck in front of the blue line, but eventually she falls to her feet, which leads to an Eagles 2-on-1 situation. But Daphnis is there to stop the puck and also put a stop to what could have been an Eagle goal. Colton, they say the most dangerous lead you can have in hockey is a 2-goal lead, most notably a 2-0 lead. We don't exactly have that here right now, but 3-1 is still dangerous. The Huskers staying aggressive, but the Eagles, they have to be aggressive as well right now.
I mean, for Nebraska, you're one good break away from this being a one-score game. Just got to focus on making some good defensive plays and taking advantage of those opportunities when you get them.
That That was a smooth defensive play right there. McCord loses her stick, though. Eventually, she picks it back up. She's back in action. The Eagles are as well, though. Daphnis just going to hold down that one. So we got another face-off back in the defensive zone for the Huskers coming up right now. We've had many of those here in the second period. Huskers come away with the face-off. This could be a big one. It's Izzy Palmer. Haven't seen a whole lot of her tonight. This one will come back to Radel. She already has a goal. She tries to give it down low to McCord. That one deflected away, though, by the Eagles. McCord, though, still gets her stick on it. Crosse going the other way. This looks to be Swanson, no. Does eventually find Swanson, though. Puck is in the neutral zone. Bit of an awkward sequence of events there. Eventually it finds the stick of Radel. Radel trying to go around Boberg, not able to though. Was waiting for a shot, she doesn't get it. Now this one's behind the net. Trying to wrap it around is Rusing. Big collision there behind the net, potentially on the post as well. Lexi Rager will keep this one in play. Back behind the net again. This one will wrap around them. Here's Radel on the near side board. Puck eventually comes loose. The Eagles have something here. One-on-one, a breakaway. Trying to go backhand. They do, but it doesn't slip past Daphnis. Here's Rusing back for the Huskers. Trying to progress the puck. She does. But an Eagle defender is back to make it a 2-on-2 situation. Rusing's shot is wide left and hits the backboard behind the net. Some nice stick skills here by the Eagles. They're trying to get it out of their own zone. I was about to say they do, but no, this one will just fly into that Husker bench. We've got a face-off coming up right near Boberg's net.
That was a great save on the other end of the ice by Daphnis. Breakaway there for the Eagles was basically a one-on-one with the goaltender, but was able to get the save and keep this a 2-goal game.
Eagles come away with that face-off. That was one they needed to win. We're under 11 minutes to go here in the second period. Huskers lose a hold of that one. A big shot by the Eagles. No airtime on it, though, which means Daphnis is able to swat it away. That one hits her pad again. Another shot wide right. Daphnis was there just in case, though. Eagles still playing aggressive on the offensive yet again. The Huskers pick up the puck, get it past the blue line, trying to move in slowly but surely here. Eventually do, but you got 3 Huskers right in the same area, which eventually leads to the Eagles being able to get it back out of their zone. And then you got Rager here, ricocheted off of an Eagle defender. Nebraska still applying pressure right here. How about a shot? Awkwardly trying to get one off is number 12, Antonia Stevens. Held onto it for a little too long. The Eagles have it going the other way. This could be a big breakaway here, folks. The Eagles moving in, shot off, but does not get past Daphnis.
Daphnis making another great save there. I mean, there's a lot of pressure that the Eagles have been putting on her after that opening goal of the second period, but she's played incredible out in net. Made some really impressive saves and been able to limit this offense over these last 10 or so minutes.
They'll have to do so for about 10 or so more. We've got 9.5 left in the period, and that was a close call, but it eventually leads to a Nebraska breakaway. 1-on-2, eventually leads to a 1-on-1, and they slip one past. What a goal by number 8, Corrine McCord. That was a bit of a Hail Mary almost. She had it back near on her stick. It was almost in an awkward position. She decides to let it rip, and it gets past Boberg. Colton, we are back to a one-score game.
Yeah, it's like what we were saying earlier. The Huskers are one good break away from making this a one-goal game again. And in that case, she gets down the ice. They've had cleaner opportunities than that, but
She's going to have to defend one there. A wide open net for number six, Tina Benson. She, in fact, had a goal earlier on in this game. Not able to make that shot, though. Eventually, someone does. That one almost rolls in right behind Daphnis. She'll take a deep breath as this one is now going the other way. McCord moving inside. She just scored for the Huskers. Not able to do that off of that shot. Boberg flicks it off of her glove, and that one goes wide, way up top. Puck still in play. The Eagles now come back to apply some more pressure to Daphnis. Radel able to get her stick on it. Does a great job here. She's looking to go coast to coast. Radel makes a move right. Cuts back in left. Rips one off. No, she'll come back around with it. A pass back off to McCord, but the Eagles steal it away from her. Radel gets her stick on it again, but we've got a one-on-one situation here. Fontana able to clear it back to the far side board. Swanson swings in here and scoops it up, excuse me. She'll try to get it to the middle of the ice. She's not able to. McCord able to clear it. Here's Mueller. Puts her wrist, gets it down ice. We've got Sarah Crouse fighting for it, chasing it. But an icing call will bring it back near Daphnis.
We saw in that sequence this Eagles team putting a ton of pressure on Nebraska. That first opportunity where it was so close to Tina Benson getting it wide open opportunity at the net, just not able to convert on that. And then on the breakaway later on, just some great defense from Meredith Fontana, the captain, able to get that stop and prevent the Eagles from getting on the board there.
Puck comes loose off the faceoff. A free shot. Now it'll be taken by Abby Lenzik. She had a goal to start off this period. She kind of hangs her head low after that one. I think she was looking to go top shelf there on Daphnis' glove side, but she's not able to convert on that one. Nebraska will bring a brand new line in, but they'll leave number 7, McKenna Mueller, out there to take the faceoff. The Eagles going to go with no substitutions here. Mueller gets her stick on it. That one could have been ugly. Nebraska doing a great job here, using the boards to their advantage. They might have something here, but the puck gets away from them. Trying to stay on top of it. A collision at mid-ice brings the puck back to the neutral zone. Now it's past the blue line. The Eagles going to have to go back on D. They do. Here comes the Huskers. McKenna Mueller, the only player to stay out there on the personnel's change, gets the shot off on Boberg's glove side, but Boberg closes in on it.
That was a spot where the Huskers desperately needed to just get their puck out of their defensive end. And they do that there, getting an opportunity with a shot from Mueller. Just giving Daphnis a break out there will be huge for them. As they've put a ton of pressure on her over the past 5 minutes.
Puck goes free off of the faceoff, and now it's right in front of Daphnis' crease. She's able to get her pads on it, though. Everybody was on the edge of their seats there, wondering if the Eagles would be able to finally slip one past Daphnis. You got to give credit to her, Colton. She's taken on a lot of shots this period and has only let one go through.
Yeah, after that opening shot of the period, she's just been playing extremely well out in net. A lot of really difficult shots to defend, and she's been able to get the save on all of them.
Face-off, it stays in that circle. Hasn't left it yet. Eventually it does. Coming down the other way is the Huskers. They win the face-off, trying to win this possession here as well. Sam Murphy is there to swat it away, and now the Eagles have it. That's number 7, Marley Jordan, with the puck. Rusing gets it free, and McCord finds it at center ice. McCord takes another shot. She was able to score off of something similar earlier on in the period. That one not going to convert, though. Bit of a scruffle in the crease. I think Boberg might be a little upset at that one. Looking for players there to defend her. No words exchanged on that one, though. We'll keep things non-hostile here. Colton, UW Lacrosse, take a look at their social media pages. We've got a quick face-off there. They'll cover up on it. Same one coming up again at the same spot very soon. If you take a look at their social media pages for the Eagles, they actually post every game they go on the road. They do a nice Google Map overview of how far they have to travel. And for this one, it was quite some time. So that plays into effect. Another thing that plays into effect, they only have 7 skaters on their bench compared to Nebraska, who has a handful more. So, Colton, how much do you think that plays into effect here as we'll see Nebraska rip off a shot and we'll have another face-off coming up soon? How much do you think that plays into effect, both the travel and then having a few less players?
I mean, I think that definitely makes you a little bit more fatigued, but far from what we've seen, it hasn't affected them all that much. They've traveled a long way. They don't have as many skaters.
tried to hang on to it. She's not able to, loses control of the puck. Camille McCord, the sophomore forward, will put it in for the Huskers. Colton, we've got a tie hockey game here at the Breslow Ice Center.
Yeah, I initially thought that puck was close to going in on the original shot, but didn't go in, but ultimately just crossed the goal line. A lot of opportunities close to the net there, putting a lot of pressure on Boberg out in net, and they end up converting on one of those opportunities, getting a huge third goal. This game's all even up late in the second. Huskers just looking to hold that entering the third.
What a goal by McCord. Seeing a lot of scoring here in the second period, which Colton, we were talking about it heading into the period. This could go one of two ways. You know, things could remain like what happened in the first, as we might get another shot here. We do. A collision in the crease, and Boberg shoving off a Husker forward there. They get tangled up with their sticks. Now the Eagles trying to get rid of it. I'm not sure if we have a delayed penalty there. I don't think we do, but it's definitely something big that happened there inside Boberg's crease. A minute left to play here in the second period. The Eagles staying on top of things. Nebraska able to get it out of their defensive zone, though. Here's Radel. A pass back up to McCord. That one goes free, though. A wild puck right in front of Boberg's crease. Now we're on the near side board fighting for it again. Radel gets in on the action. You can tell she wants a piece of it. Hasn't scored since the first goal of this game, which happened all the way back just 24 seconds in. So now the Eagles trying to take back the lead they just had. 30 seconds left to play. We might only have a handful of shots left in them. It's going to be interesting, though, to see what comes from either team. Fighting inside. Some beautiful stick work, leads to a great shot. And then another one is ripped off there by Lenslick. The goal comes way off of its post. The net goes flying, and so do a couple players. Colton, this is by far the most aggressive we've seen both teams tonight.
Yeah, just great defense there. Great period here in the second. Both teams just going at it. Now it's getting really intense towards the end of it. See what the refs decide.
I'm going to talk this one over. I don't know as far as penalties go there. A couple big collisions. They're talking a lot. Well, a lot happened there. I mean, you know, there were a couple big hits exchanged. There was some confusion as to whether or not the puck went in. I don't think it did. I think it stayed wide right of the net. It did not cross that plane.
Yeah, it appeared to me as though the puck was heading to the right of the net. It was loose for a minute, but it did not appear on trajectory to get in. And then collision near the net knocks the goal off of its post, and a penalty will be assessed towards the Huskers as Meredith Radel heading to the penalty box late in the second.
Tornado of players there, and out of it, Radel will have to go to the box, as you said, Colton. 8 seconds left in the period, so most of her penalty will be spent at the start of the third. We've got a couple players skating back. I'm not sure what's happening here. The ref's exchanging some words with everybody on the ice right now, and then Fontana will go back to relay it to her head coach, Nate Henke. Now they're signaling for a Husker line to come out. And there's no Husker players near the face-off circle. And now they're telling them to hurry up. So an awkward play leads to an awkward exchange of communication there. But to wrap it up gently, I guess, Radel is in the box right now for the next 2 minutes. There's only 8 seconds left in the period, though. And then the Huskers are going to win this face-off and then hopefully kill off as much as they can. They might actually get a shot off. Here's McCord, tries to slip one in, collides into Boberg at the end. She took a big hit there. The Eagles, the last thing they wanted is for McCord to slip one in at the end of the period. She doesn't. Hopefully she didn't hit her head. That looked to be a big collision there. She gets back up on her feet though. These teams will head to their respective locker rooms. I think you can kind of tell that they need a break from this tension right now, Colton.
Yeah, this last minute and a half or so getting very chippy between these two teams. Going a bit over the line of just regular physicality and turning into a bit of extracurricular stuff. That was a big hit on McCord towards the end of the period. Good to see she's up and skating on her own power. That looked like a pretty scary play, but
almost led to a Husker goal. Instead, we'll keep things here. A tie game, 3 goals apiece between UW La Crosse, the visiting team, and then the home team, of course, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. The Zambonis out on the ice. We've got 15 minutes left in this intermission. Don't go anywhere. We've got a pretty big collegiate hockey game going on right now.
All right, I'm gonna go put out a fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, Husker hockey fans, welcome back into the John Breslow Ice Center here on the great campus of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. My name is Matthew Malloy, and your play-by-play broadcaster for this morning and now afternoon, joined here with my color commentator, Colton Alder. We also have Danny Berg on production, Colin Dalvan on camera. We've had a great crew so far. Only 20 minutes left to play on this one, and Colton, while we were away at intermission, they actually upgraded that penalty against Meredith Radel to a 5-minute major for cross-checking. So you see her, she's kind of slouched in the box right now. You can't blame her. That's tough to come back to. You want to help your team out in the third period, and instead you're going to have to be out of the period for a fourth of that entire time there in the penalty box.
Yeah, and that dramatically shifts the outlook for the Huskers in this third period, because not only are you going to be short-staffed for the next 4 minutes and 52 seconds, but the player you're going to be without is maybe your top goal scorer. So a big loss for the Huskers, and they're going to have to find a way to keep this Eagles team off of the scoreboard over these next 5 or so minutes.
Freshman forward from St. Louis will take a break for about the next 5 minutes. Their teammates out there will try to put a stop to the Eagles. They want to get their lead back that they once had for a majority of the game. They've got a chance to do so right now. A great shot. It's ripped off by number 17, Abby Tuma. But Sophie Daphnis getting in the way there. That one ripped off, hits her pad. Sully Daphnis again in the way to stop it. She actually lost track of the puck there. So it gets lost in the pads. They got Rage Against the Machine blasting on the aux, and you know they kind of need that energy right now, Colton. You're down a player, right? The Eagles have the upper hand. You need as much energy right now to stop the other team.
Yeah, you need every break you can, every last bit of effort that you have in order to stop this Eagles team on this power play. And Huskers are going to have to muster up whatever they can.
That's a great clear there. That one by Shelby Stevens, senior forward from Hubbard, Nebraska, will clear that one. The Eagles trying to get back on the offensive. Got 3:45 left on this power play. Just about 19 minutes left to go in the game, though. Back on the near side board, the Huskers are able to clear it yet again. They'll go dump and chase for it. Getting pucks deep is key right now. Don't think they're going to make any substitutions. Husker defenders having a little bit of conversation. I think the Eagles are trying to go with a little bit of a cherry pick action, sort of. They've got one player hanging out at that blue line, staying smart on the power play. That's the right thing to do. They'll rip off a shot. That one by Riley Hill. Goes way high, though. Nowhere near the net. They'll cut it back across to the other side. Again on the near side board. You can tell they're trying to go for Daphnis' glove side. That's where they've been able to pick up all 3 goals this game. Under 3 minutes to go in the power play. The Huskers will finally make some switches off of the bench. The Eagles are coming right back again to attack. We got Roosing there to clear it for Nebraska. But that extra player for UW Lacrosse is showing to help them a lot right now. We'll make 2 more switches right here. We got Sam Murphy on the near side, not able to help out though. Still trying to get the puck into the offensive zone is the Eagles. Cutting back around. Slicing through defenders. They're going to dish it back off. That was a great shot there by Marley Jordan. Ricochets off of a defender. The puck's still in front of Daphnis. They're trying to slip it by her, but they cannot.
That was a great save right there by Daphnis. Not an easy save with a shot that close to the net, but she's just able to stop that one, and then on the rebound, just making sure that they don't get a clean opportunity off. Some great play out in net from Daphnis. She'll look to continue that for the rest of this power play.
Eagles back on the offensive. They'll get it back down, trying to find the right angle here. Got Murphy. Gets it airborne, but it falls short right in front of Daphnis. The Eagles quick again to pick up on it. You got Vanessa Clavey there on the left side. They'll wrap it around. Another shot. That one goes high. Ricochets off of the pads of Daphnis yet again. That one poke checked away, and it's cleared out of the zone. The Eagles will have to clear out of this one, and Nebraska has the chance to make a couple substitutions. That one ends up working well for Nebraska as they now have it going the other way. A one-on-one, maybe two situation. What a goal that one, again by number 8, Corinne McCord. An unexpected turn of events in what was supposed to be a 5-minute period of time where the Eagles could have taken the lead with an extra player on the ice. Nebraska instead finds a way to slip one past Boberg. We've got a 1-score game here again, folks. The Huskers take back the lead they once lost.
McCord just sees a very small window of opportunity and takes full advantage of it. Makes a great move to get past the lone defender that she had to beat. And then with an open shot on the net, just able to get it past Boberg. An incredible play there from Corinne McCord. And her second goal of the game puts the Huskers up late in this.
Eagles still trying to score. They have to do so even more now than before. It was a tie game. It is still tied again, Colton. Hold your breath, folks. We've got a hockey game here. So far in the third period, each team has scored 1 goal apiece. Meredith Radel, she's been in the box for quite some time, but since that is a major penalty, she will have to hang in there for roughly 43 more seconds, I believe. Now the Huskers still doing a good job. And now Colton, that Husker goal goes from being decorative and almost, creative and nice to now that was necessary to keep things tied here.
Yeah, getting a goal like that is huge because, now instead of trailing late in this one, it's still tied. And that goal on the power play that would have put you up 1 and would have been demoralizing for this team instead turns into, okay, it's still a tie game. We can bounce back from this.
Be thankful that McCord was able to find the back of the net there early on in the power play. Still 20 seconds left to go here until Radel is left out of the cage. She's itching to get back out there, you can tell, as the puck is currently in the Husker defensive zone. She's out of the box now. The Eagles lose control of the puck. Nebraska back on the offensive. Rusing clears it, tries to pass it off, but the Eagles are there to get a stick on it. They do. Radel out of the penalty box, but now down on the ice. Falls to her feet, quick to get back up. Excuse me, now the Huskers have something cooking up right here. They go middle ice, middle on it. One Eagle falls to her feet. Another, though, has the puck past the blue line. Swerving back around, they go right in front of the net. There's nobody there to get a shot on goal. Coming back right down the middle. That one popped up. Daphnis, they're just in time to reject Marley Jordan's shot.
Jordan had a clean opportunity at the net, but just had to move a little bit too fast there with the defenders closing in. Got a shot off backhanded, but just kind of hung up in the air, and Daphnis able to make a clean save on that.
The Huskers win the face-off. Daphnis will be able to take a breath here. McCord gets a shot off. It's wide right. She'll dump it and put it right back in on Boberg, keeping her on her feet. Boberg wasn't expecting that one to come so quick.
And the Huskers, after they saw the last period pretty much see the puck controlled by the Eagles for most of it, despite the Huskers scoring more goals in that period, have put a ton of pressure on the Eagles thus far in the third. They'll have to keep doing that if they want to take this lead.
Sam Murphy on the near side board for the Eagles. Swerving back around is Stevens. Steven loses the puck, but Izzy Palmer's right back there to pick it up for her. Somehow finds the stick of McCord. Will then push it back. She's now got it on the far side board. No, it clears her. back near her own blue line. A potential shot on goal, cutting back over to the right side. Rather than going to the net, she'll look for a pass. It's number 9, Elle Peterson for the Eagles. That could have been dangerous for the Huskers. Stoppage play as that one hits the net. Would have gone into the crowd if not for it. Tie game, 4-4. If you're just joining us, we've had a game full of offensive aggression, plenty of defensive slip-ups.
I mean, heading in, this was a game between two undefeated teams that had scored pretty frequently over their first 2 games. Of course, one team scoring more frequently than the other, but it's been a high-scoring offensive game, just like the pregame would have indicated. And it's really exciting late in this one to see which of these teams gets the upper hand.
Mueller tries to rip one off. The puck's right in front of a wide open net. Boberg able to clear that one and get it away. Redill now not able to get a hold of that one. So we have another breakaway coming up for the Eagles right here. But that one is stopped immediately. A great job by Lexi Rager. A hometown kid from Lincoln, Nebraska, now playing here on campus. Sam Murphy, not Murphy. Extended Signey. Bukowski there trying to rip one off. Not too much power behind that one, which means we'll lead to another whistle and a face-off coming up soon. Face-off cleared away. Bukowski tries to get another shot off. That one stopped by the Nebraska defensive line. All the way there in the back, that one taken away by McCord. She's got Rusing to her left. Might have to try and pass it to her. She doesn't have time to do so. 12-minute mark. We're coming up on the 10 very soon. Players are itching for a goal. You can tell they're right in front of Boberg's crease. Here, coming in hot. That's a shot wide left. Missed by Stevens. Fontana will have to come in and try to make something of it. Fontana. Coming away to center ice. Rusing now. She's got one teammate to her left. Opts to shoot it herself. A nice dump wide left of the net, though. Back, McCord trying to find a teammate. Instead, it'll be a player in maroon going the other way. Scarlet and green find the puck. They pick it up. There's 2 players on the near side board. McCord cuts back over, trying to find Rusing, not able to do so. That one getting away out of middle ice by a multiple Eagle defenders. A whistle finally blown.
This game coming down to the wire late. Just 11 minutes left for each of these 2 teams to step up late. In these moments where you're going to see which team has a little bit more left in the tank. It's going to come down to which team has more to give late in this game. It's been pretty hard fought and even all throughout.
Redill gets a hold of it. She'll swing it around, back behind the net. No, it'll stay on the far side board. Solid pass, maybe coming in a little too hot. Murphy not able to control it. Lexi Rager will now spin it back behind the net, but Eagles still pick up the puck. Coming back over, we're at center ice, moving in quickly to the offensive zone for UW La Crosse. Looking for an offsides call. They don't get it, is the Huskers. This time coming back around the other way. Here's Mueller making a name for herself. A 1v3 situation though, so she'll have to back out of it. Trying to keep it in front of that blue line though, she does. Dumping it off to Stevens. Wrapped around just a tad right in the net. Fontana there to pick it up on defense. Sam Murphy, though, trying to stay aggressive for the Eagles. She does. Coming in hot is the Huskers now, taking advantage of this mismatch of personnel. Instead, they'll just have to dump and chase it. That one poked away. The Huskers will slow things down. Got Kylie Reginetter. Coming back the other way. Stevens making a move. That one deflected away by the Eagles goaltender. Lexi Rager looking to pass it off to Reginetter. She does. McCord up there applying pressure on defense now as the Eagles have the puck. Trying to clear it. She does. McCord loses control of it. The Eagles do too, though. They'll dump the puck and make a couple substitutions as Lexi Rager will get back and try to clear things out of the zone for Nebraska. Rusing gets a hold of it. Almost a big collision at near center ice. The Eagles rip off a shot after that collision, and that's number 16, Abby Lenzik, who has scored a majority of the goals for UW La Crosse. She finds the back of the net yet again this afternoon. 5-4, 8.5 left to play.
And Lenzik getting the hat trick there. Off of a hard-fought play, both teams fighting for the puck. Puck ends up with Lenzik. She gets a fairly open shot at the net and takes full advantage of it. Gives this Eagles team a 5-4 lead. Still 8:25 to go. There's time for Nebraska to even this one up, but time will be running short.
Another shot right in front of the net. Daphnis able to hold on to that one, though, and Rager protecting her goalie, looking out for her, as it currently is a one-score way in favor for the Eagles.
That was another open opportunity for the Eagles there, but Steven's shot just gets saved by Daphnis. Good save there. And now she's going to have to... She's going to get to take a break for a minute.
There you go. Well, things unraveling quickly here for the Huskers. It's an offside call. Not what you want to see if you're on that Nebraska bench right now, looking out. Down one. You used to be up one at multiple times in this game. Colton, this is much to be expected, though. Both teams are undefeated with a 2-0 record. UW La Crosse, let's just say they had a little offensive presence in their first two games against Wisconsin Stout. We mentioned it in the pregame, but 43-11 is the total goal scorage in those first two games. So at least 20 goals in each game. This one looks a little more like regular speed. If I think you'd agree with me on that goal. 5-4 seems a lot more reasonable than 23-3.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not as absurd of a scoring pace as they've been on this season, but they've still been extremely effective on the offensive end regardless. If you put up 5 goals in any hockey game, you're giving yourself a good chance to win. They've definitely got a good chance to win late in this one.
Five goals with a hat trick is, very. Wasn't their goal, probably what they weren't shooting for. They were just shooting for a win, but it's a nice way to pick one up if they're able to do so. Whole lot of hockey left to play, 7.5 minutes left. Huskers trying to keep it in the offensive zone. They are unable to there, as Sam Murphy is making a move on the outside, eventually loses the puck on the near side board. Riddell trips over teammate's stick. The puck goes loose, so the Huskers going to go with a little dump and chase. No substitution there, though, as the puck quickly comes back into their defensive zone, but we'll get another icing call here, Colton.
And with 7 minutes to go, you're going to get plenty of more opportunities to try and equal this game up. Just whether or not you get a shot that you like and actually taking advantage of the chances that you get is going to be huge.
Looks biased, it's a little biased.
Colton, I agree with you. There's going to be a lot more chances. And something I always keep an eye on in the third period is who's going to head to the box. We've seen a lot of penalties. Hey, we saw a major to start off this period, so things are bound to happen. So something interesting going on in front of Daphnis here, I believe. The puck was 3 wide open in front of the crease. Now they're fighting for it, though. A bit of a foot race on the board. Stick goes flying, and so does a player. Colton, I was just talking about it. So who's going to head to the box? And it looks like we've got somebody going there again.
Yeah, the Huskers getting the penalties will be Fontana, who heads to the box, the captain. Also, an Eagles player heading to the box as well.
Daphnis chatting it up with a couple of her defenders. As you see on your screen right now, we've got a couple of fresh faces coming in for the Eagles. I think we've got some 4-on-4 hockey. Colton, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the player that went to the box for UW La Crosse, they just skated directly over from their bench. I don't know, maybe they were kind of far away from the action there, but nonetheless, we've got 4-on-4 hockey going on right now, which only means there's a higher chance for both teams, to slip one in past the opponent's goalie.
It's going to be a very fast-paced couple of minutes. Good chance for the Huskers to try and even this one up.
Skating in, trying to cut back into the middle. This looks to be L. Peterson. And now Izzy Palmer has it for Nebraska, though. Rusing over to her right. She cuts back inside. That one cleared very powerfully away by the Eagles. An icing call is made, which means we will have a face-off near Boberg's crease.
With this little time left, and it being such a fast-paced situation on the 4-on-4, this is the spot for the Huskers where you want to take advantage of a face-off close to the net. Just whatever opportunity you get, you need to make sure you're able to cash it in. It's not a good start to this set after the face-off.
Swerving and slicing through defenders is Stevens, who will cut it back over to middle ice. An Eagle, though, right there to pick up on it. That could have been dangerous. McCord might have been able to score again. Instead, Peterson now will dump it for UW La Crosse. They'll make one substitution. Still playing some 4-on-4 hockey. Seems both teams have gone with some of their speediest skaters, trying to create as much spacing as possible. We've got a 2-on-1 situation right here. McCord on the right side shoots one off. They're going to call that a goal for McCord. All tied up, 5-5 with just over 5 minutes to play.
A pair of hat tricks in this game. One from the Eagles, one from the Huskers. That's McCord's third goal of the game. 2-on-1 opportunity. She gets a shot at the net. She's able to score on the 4-on-4. And this game is all tied up yet again with just 5:18 to go. There's going to be a huge 5 minutes and 18 seconds as the next goal to be scored will be one that puts either team in very, very good position to win.
Now Nebraska looking like they got some more life in them. There's nothing better than tying the game up late in the third, Colton. Nothing better than that. Well, I guess there is something better. It'd be taking the lead now, which is what Nebraska has its eyes on. The Eagles cutting in, trying to slice into middle ice and get a shot off. A couple fans taking note of the hat trick situation we've got going on here. Not too often you get two players and one on each team with a hat trick. But you know what? Anything can happen when two undefeated teams match up on a Saturday afternoon. See Palmer going to shoot that one away, trying to clear it. Instead, we'll get a break in the action right now. 4.5 on the dot left to go here, Colton. What are some things you can expect to see here late in the third?
I think both teams are going to be extremely aggressive with the puck, try and push it down the ice as fast as they can. You don't want to end up in a situation where this game is all knotted up at the end of the third. You want to win this game right here. And I think we're going to see a little bit more urgency from both teams as they look to end up winning this hockey game.
The Huskers trying to get it away. That's a nice pass. It'll hit the near side board. Radel getting in there.
There's a delay penalty on the Huskers, it looks like.
So we go from having 4-on-4 hockey to now coming up very soon at the next whistle. The Eagles will have an upper hand, is what we believe. Right in front
My apologies, I appear to be wrong. I believe the hand was up for an potential offside.
Gotcha, just telling them to clear the way. So we'll remain at 5-on-5, even keel hockey here. Now Nebraska trying to get aggressive though. Don't want to be too aggressive though, Colton. Last thing you want is to move all your players up a little too forward and then leave that defensive zone just hanging a little bit. The Eagles have scored a lot of their goals off of breakaways, so trying to keep a cap on that is going to be very important late in the third here. 3.5 minutes left to go. The puck back in Nebraska's defensive zone. Daphne's taking a break for right now. She might have to get to work very soon though. Radel, that's a big pass. A lot of power behind it. They're going to say no icing on that call as it touched the player's stick. Still fighting for it on the boards. It comes away. McCord trying to get it close. Boberg falls to her knees, covers it up as well, so we'll get a break in the action again.
Final 3 minutes. We could see the fact that the Huskers have given Daphnis a little bit of a break over these past couple minutes might help them out a little bit. Getting a chance to kind of get reset on her part in the event that the Eagles get a scoring opportunity. For the Huskers, you can't really allow Boberg to get the opportunity to reset. Just keep putting pressure on the net.
Now we'll see here. Stevens back with the puck behind her own blue line. Trying to clear it out of there. She does. We're back at the neutral zone. Puck at center ice. Going to cross back over to the near side board.
As much as you can.
Still trying to get past the blue line. They do. They're going to say no offsides on that one. Puck right in front of the crease. No shot gets off though. We're back on that back board behind the net. Abby Lenzik trying to get to work and make a smart pass. She does. Trying to cut it inside. We've got Rusing trying to cut inside. She can't. Big collision on the backboard. Still, though, she seems to be okay. Going to be quick to get back up on her feet. The Huskers going to have to clear out of the zone here as the puck goes behind the blue line. Puck wrapping around behind the net. Swinging in. That was coming in hot. There was McCord. Big collision. Now on the other side of the ice, the Eagles setting up for a shot. They get one off. They're going to call that a goal. And Colton, I mean, that was hard to see right there. Must have slipped past Daphnis on her stick side. Whole bunch of bodies right in front of the net. Momentum has shifted drastically in favor of UW La Crosse.
Yeah, that's a spot where a lot of bodies in front of the net. Hard to keep track of the puck out in net and just gets past Daphnis. A huge goal for the Eagles. Now with a 1-goal lead with 1:30 left, the Huskers are really going to have to put some pressure on, get as much shots off as they can and hope one of them hits. For the Eagles, they're going to pretty much exclusively be focusing on defending their net, not really worrying about pushing the puck down the ice, just keeping it out of the crease.
Now you wonder, does Nebraska go with a empty net situation here? Do they keep Daphnis in just a few more moments? Got to think, with that being a goal, that the next faceoff will be at center ice. Perhaps the Huskers try to get it into the offensive zone and get a faceoff there, in which they will be able to pull Daphnis and put in a 6th skater. Got to think head coach Nate Henke, assistant coaches Dave Schipper Bottom, George Isaac, Andy Fritzinger will be talking things over right now as they're there on the bench. They're going to blow that whistle, which means we're coming back for the final 90 seconds of play.
Yeah, a lot of things to consider over these last 90 seconds. We'll see what they do with Daphnis. If they can push this puck down quickly and get a sixth skater out there early on, that would be huge for them. But for the Eagles, I think they're going to try and push this puck, at least in the first couple of seconds, try and delay how much time the Huskers can have with 6 out there.
Huskers get the puck right away. Rusing gonna get it back off. Daphnis hasn't run yet. Now they're telling her to run off. We've got an empty net situation for Nebraska, and they're gonna put an extra skater on, trying to get as many shots off as possible. That's a play right there that's gonna work out well for them. They keep the puck in front of the blue line. 60 seconds left to go. Plenty of shots to be made, though, by Nebraska if they want to tie this whole thing up. The Eagles, it's a stalemate behind Boberger's net. Not too much happening right now. Killing time off the clock. The Eagles playing a beautiful game right now. Puck right in front of the net. That's a great clear. All 6 Husker skaters will have to make their way out of this zone. Waiting for the offsides call. No, the Eagles don't get it. 27 seconds left to play. The Eagles still trying to clear it. Nebraska doing their best to keep it here in this zone. They haven't been able to get a shot off in the final minute yet. 15 seconds left to go. Not a single shot to be had by Nebraska yet. And now the puck coming way back here. You gotta go quick if you want something here.
Just get a shot up now.
McCord might have something. That will be the game, folks. Nebraska pulls Daphnis out of the net to put an extra skater on, trying to get as many shots off as possible in the final minute. However, they are not able to get a single one off. 6-5 is your final score. We had plenty of action this morning and afternoon. Started with about a 10:30 puck drop. 2 hat tricks. 1 player from each team had one. Colton, a whole lot of action there in that game. Coming into this game, both teams were undefeated. They each had a record of 2-0. And when you look back on what happened here, this is by far the most fast-paced and aggressive game each team has played so far this season. You look back to what happened the first 2 games for UW Lacrosse. We keep bringing up this stat because it's just such a big one to talk about. They won a total 43-11. That was the scoring margin in those first 2 games. Nebraska, not so much. However, the Huskers were able to win their first 2 games, pick up their first loss of the season here at home. What are some of the biggest takeaways to be had from here in this Saturday morning game?
I mean, even though you look at the score, it says 6-5. I think the way that Sully Daphnis played out in net was really impressive. There was a lot of breakaway opportunities that she was presented with, and she was able to get some really impressive saves on a lot of them, made a lot of really great plays out in net. It just so happened that the Eagles got a ton of scoring opportunities, and they were able to get 6 of them in the net. The Huskers' offense played really impressively all throughout as well. I mean, obviously Corinne McCord getting the hat trick. They got a lot of opportunities offensively, but in the end, a really close game. Eagles just end up pulling it out in the end.
Player of the game has to be, Abby Lenzik, number 16, the center and captain for the Eagles. She had a hat trick of her own, and then obviously you just mentioned McCord. She's obviously up there for offensive presence as well this afternoon. Folks, just want to mention, we've got at 3:30 later this afternoon, head over to Husker Hockey. The men's team will be facing off against Augustana. That is the second game of a 2-game series. The men's team, the D2, they had their home opener last night, were able to pick up a win against the Vikings. They're trying to get another one, trying to sweep Augustana this weekend. And then if you want some more women's hockey, you can catch this exact same matchup tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. and even earlier tip-off. That one is bound to be good if it's anything like the game we just had here. So signing off here, Matthew Malloy, Colton Alder, Danny Berg on production, and Colin Dalvan on camera. Have a great day, Nebraska.